going on, everybody? Andrew Summers here with yet another description video. Got a riddle for you. What happens when you want to build a Chinese-looking main battle tank with a bit of Western flair to it? Well, you get this, or what I like to call the Type 00A2. Now, this isn't a real tank, mind you. The Chinese field the Type 99, and I believe the Type 99A2. But this is kind of just my fictional universe, sort of fictional tank that I wanted to build. Now, several weeks back, you may remember that I posted a light tank, that had working treads, that had working suspension, full 360-degree turret. Well, it's no different. The turret also turns a full 360, which I can't exactly do because of my backdrop. The gun elevates and it also depresses. The treads on it work. And there's also functioning suspension. You can sort of see it like that. Basics out of the way, it was recommended a couple weeks back that I take a little bit more time to discuss the in-depth details of my builds here, and I figured, well, why don't I do that starting with a tank? So, one of the first things you may be noticing about this tank is the turret shaping. Admittedly, I can't take full credit for the design of the turret here. This section that you see right in the front, the frontal glacis, is actually inspired by a guy named Andreas on Flickr. He originally came up with this design several years back, and I figured, well, it sort of fits the look that I'm going for, so I might as well use it. Basically, you just turn the bricks at an angle, and then with a little bit of snot work, you add this section down here, finish it off with one of these angled pieces, and you get these angles that work like so. You can also see that there's a wedge plate right there just to kind of shape it a little bit more. Moving on to the sides a bit more, you can see that there are binoculars. Now, you might be wondering what in the world are binoculars doing on a tank like this? Well, that's easy enough. Binocular pair right here, that would be a smoke launcher. It just started to smoke. The two up here, however, if you've ever played the game Battlefield 4, you may have used the APS system on your tank, or the Active Protection System. Basically what it does is it's a system that counteracts any incoming projectiles. So, I'm taking a bit of cues from the Battlefield 4 system, where you have this giant box-looking thing right there. And then these launchers right here are essentially part of the APS system. So if there's any rocket coming towards the tank, it shoots out from these binoculars and neutralizes the round. More about the turret itself, though, you can see that there is a remote weapon station, which is simply just a brick arms LMG mounted on an angling thing, and the driver, the commander, he has an opening hatch. He also has an LMG right there, and then the gunner's hatch that opens up too. But it's being a little finicky right now, so I can't open that. Trust me, it works. Kind of like a lot of these things, you just gotta trust me. Now, onto the back of the turret, or the bustle, there's a spare road wheel mounted here. And if you can see what I'm doing here, I've basically taken a 2x2 round plate, and I've wrapped a thin tire around it. So you can sort of see how that's done. Those form the road wheels as well, which if I pan the camera back here, you can see down below. And while we're on the subject, you may note that the hull of this tank actually slopes upward slightly. So in the front, you can see that it's nice and flat. So these four studs right here, 4 or 5 studs right in here, are flat. But then you'll also notice that after that, there's an angle that sort of takes off and goes upward. I did this using finger hinges, and the reason I did it was because I wanted a more unique looking tank design. I know a lot of tanks, including some of my own in the past and others currently out there, they have just flat hulls, which, it works. It's a good, nice design, but I figured, well, why don't I try something a little bit different? And that's what I came up with this angled hull design. I wouldn't say it's anything revolutionary, but, I like it. At least I think it gives the tank a nice look, gives the hull a more aggressive stance. Especially for something that's totally gray. It's just a little bit of added feature, added flair. Then when you go on the back here, there are, as there are on many Eastern tanks, fuel tanks right here. So, you know, just for extended range and whatnot, and then you can see there's exhaust pipes there, and you got your, got a little bit of detailing on the tail lights. But anyhow, I hope that's a bit of enough detail for you. This tank is, well, I've had it for a little while, and I figured I'd finally post it. Had to do a little bit of updating, because originally I was using Lego's 3-wide tracks, which, oh, that's another point. The tracks I'm using on this tank, as well as on my Abrams, which I'll post maybe in a week or two, are the Brickmania 2-wide tread lengths. Now, I usually use Lego parts for my builds, but I saw one guy, his name was Aleksander, Stein on Flickr, really good military builder. He started using the Brickmania track lengths, and I figured, well, if he uses them, then so can I. And I have to admit, even if they are a little bit steep in pricing, I think they're like 35 bucks for 200 or so, they are really good. You know, Lego makes the 3-wide tracks, but those don't quite, the scaling on them. If you use them, scaling can work, but they are a little bit wide. So I tried them out and I've fallen in love with them. I mean, they're really good for scaling like this. You know, they at least take off, what, 2 studs of width from your overall tank design if you're actually using these track lengths. I should also add that the design of this tank, it is an odd wide vehicle. So 11 studs wide in total, so you got 2 here, then 7 in the middle. And then if you want to add on the side skirts and calculate that, that's about like 12 in the plate of width. So yeah, the tracks do compact the design quite nicely. And there's also a nice shot of the front. So you can see that there's the gun and then the parts that I used to shape the sloping. But apart from that, I think that about covers it. But yeah, as I said before, I'll have my Abrams ready to go in a little bit. Maybe look for that either next week or the week after. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you want to, well, feel free to stick around and subscribe, maybe check out my other videos. But till next time, catch you later. Bye.